Level 1. The life you built. You're a surgeon. 10 years of school, endless exams, nights so long they blurred into mornings. You gave up birthdays, relationships, sleep, everything, just to get here. You told yourself it would be worth it, that one day the sacrifices would pay off. But now you're 41, sitting in a dim hospital lounge at 2:13 a.m., staring at a cup of coffee that tastes like burnt plastic, wondering where it all went wrong. Your paycheck disappears the moment it arrives. Loans, insurance, rent. It's like you're pouring water into a bucket with holes. You save lives every day, yet somehow, you're the one drowning. Your hands are steady in surgery. Always have been. People trust you with their lives. But outside that operating room, you're barely holding your own together. The system doesn't reward you. It uses you, drains you, moves on. And tonight feels like every other night, until your phone buzzes. Unknown number. You stare at it longer than you should. Something tells you this call matters. You answer. That's the moment everything changes. Level 2. The offer. The voice on the other end is calm, controlled, not rushed. He knows who you are, not just your name and your schedule, your specialty, even your financial situation. He speaks like someone who's done their homework. He says he represents private clients, people with urgent medical needs, needs that hospitals can't fulfill fast enough. Then he mentions the number. Not casually, deliberately. It's more than your yearly salary. For one procedure. You don't respond immediately. You can't. Your brain is already running calculations you don't want to admit you're making. He keeps it simple. No paperwork. No hospital involvement. Fully equipped facility. You perform the surgery, you leave, you get paid. That's it. You should hang up. You know you should. Instead, you ask one question. What kind of procedure? There's a pause. Then he answers. Transplant. Your grip tightens on the phone. Everything about this is wrong. And yet, it sounds so easy. He gives you 24 hours. When the call ends, the silence feels heavier than before. You sit there, staring at nothing. Because deep down, you're already considering it. Level 3, the first decision. You don't sleep that night. You try. You really do. But every time you close your eyes, numbers flash in your head. Debt disappearing. Freedom. Relief. You tell yourself it's just one surgery. One controlled situation. You've done hundreds before. This isn't different. That's what you keep repeating. By morning, your decision is already made. When you call back, your voice is steady. You say yes. The address they send you doesn't look like a hospital. It looks better, cleaner, newer, like something built with unlimited money and no regulations. Inside, everything is quiet. Too quiet. The staff doesn't speak unless necessary. No small talk. No introductions. You're handed scrubs, guided to the operating room. The patient is already prepped, sedated, stable. No complications, no history, no identity. That should bother you more than it does. You push the thought away. You focus on what you know. The surgery itself is smooth. Your hands move automatically, precise and confident. Muscle memory takes over. 3 hours later, you're done. No alarms. No problems. Just silence. A man in a suit hands you an envelope. You don't count it. You don't need to. You can feel the weight. As you walk out, something inside you feels different. Not guilt. Not yet. Just awareness. Because you crossed a line, and nothing stopped you. Level 4, the descent. You tell yourself it was a one-time thing. You even believe it for a few days. Until the money starts working. Bills disappear. Pressure lifts. You breathe easier than you have in years. Then your phone rings again. Same voice. Another procedure. More complex. More money. You hesitate. Not because it's wrong, but because you're pretending you still have a choice. You say yes. This time it's easier. Not the surgery that's harder. But the decision? That takes seconds. Weeks turn into months. You become their go-to surgeon. Everything feels normal. Too normal. The facilities are perfect. The equipment is better than your hospital. The patients are always ready, always silent, always without questions. You stop asking too, because asking leads to answers, and answers might stop you. You upgrade your life. Better apartment, better clothes, better sleep. From the outside, you look successful. Inside, something is shifting. You feel it, but you ignore it, because stopping now would mean facing what you've already done. Level 5. The realization. It happens during a procedure that should feel routine. Another transplant. Another quiet room. But this time, something doesn't sit right. The patient file is incomplete. Not missing details. Missing everything. No history. No origin. Just numbers. You ask a nurse. She avoids your eyes. That's new. You press harder. Minutes later, a man walks in. Not medical staff. Suit. Calm expression. Controlled smile. He tells you to focus on your job. Nothing else. You don't move. Then he says something that freezes you. He mentions your apartment. Your routine. Even what time you leave work. He knows everything. And suddenly it clicks. This was never a freelance arrangement. You weren't hired. You were selected. Tested. And now, you're owned. The room feels smaller. The air heavier. He steps closer. Tells you the patients are waiting. Tells you the money is waiting. But more importantly, tells you what happens. If you don't continue, you understand perfectly. And for the first time, fear replaces doubt. Level 6. The consequences. You try to pull back. Just slightly. You decline one job. Just one. 2 days later, you're walking to your car after a late shift. The parking lot is empty, except for a van. You notice it too late. They don't speak. They don't threaten. They act. The impact hits fast. Controlled. Precise. They avoid your hands. Everything else is fair game. When it's over, you're on the ground, struggling to breathe. One of them leans down. Calm. Almost polite. He reminds you that you're valuable, but replaceable. And next time, it won't be you. It'll be someone you care about. The message is clear. When you wake up in the hospital, you lie. You say it was a random attack. Nobody questions it. But when you get home, there's an envelope waiting. Photos. Your family. Your colleague. Your life. Mapped out. Exposed. You don't hesitate this time. When they call again, you answer immediately. Level 7. The breaking point. It's supposed to be another routine job. Another controlled environment. Another silent patient. But when you walk into the room, everything stops. The patient is young. Too young. Not sedated deeply enough. You can see it in their breathing. Their face. This isn't someone who signed up for anything. This is someone who was taken. You feel it instantly. This is different. You step back. Say no. The word feels unfamiliar in your mouth. The man in the suit doesn't react. He just reminds you. Family. Photos. Consequences. You hear him. But something inside you finally cracks. You look at the patient again, and you realize you can't do this. Not this. You repeat yourself. No. The silence that follows is heavier than anything you've felt before. And then, everything goes dark. Level 8, the shift. You wake up in pain. Your hand is damaged. Badly. Your career is hanging by a thread. And for the first time in years, you tell the truth. Not to the police. Not yet. To someone you trust. They listen. They don't interrupt. And when you're done, they make one call. Days later, you're sitting in a room you never expected to be in. Federal agents. They already know pieces of your story, but now they want everything. Names. Locations. Patterns. In exchange, protection. Immunity. A way out. But there's a catch. You don't get to walk away immediately. You have to go back. Keep working. Keep pretending. Wear a wire. Help them build the case. It's dangerous. It's risky. It might get you killed, but it's the only way this ends. You agree, because for the first time, you're not choosing money. You're choosing survival in a different way. Level 9, the collapse. The next months feel unreal. Every surgery is monitored. Every conversation recorded. You play your role perfectly, because now, one mistake doesn't just cost you. It ruins everything. You live in constant tension, waiting for the moment they figure it out, but it never comes, until the day everything breaks. You're mid-procedure when the doors explode open. Commands. Noise. Chaos. It's over in seconds. People running. Shouting. Being restrained. You step back slowly, hands raised. An agent approaches you, removes the wire, and says 2 words. It's over. For the first time in years, you believe it. Level 10, the aftermath. Life doesn't go back to normal. It can't. You testify. You help take them down. From the outside, it looks like redemption. But inside, nothing feels clean. You get a new identity, a new life, far away from everything. No hospital, no surgery, no second chances, just silence. You try to move on. You really do. But some things don't leave. They stay. In quiet moments and in memories, in the space between who you were and who you became. You survived. But survival came at a cost. And deep down, you know the truth. It didn't start with them. It started with one decision, one call, one moment, where you chose not to walk away. And that's the part that never fades.